I start every summer with a very long to-do list. On it, I write all of the projects that I'm hoping to do inside the house and outside the house. And now that it's August, I'm looking at my list and taking stock of what I've actually accomplished. I remember when I was a child, and summers back then seemed like they lasted forever. Now that I'm older, it seems like you blink and half of the summer is almost over. So I'm really making a conscious effort to slow down, to put away the to-do list, to enjoy the little rituals of summer. Because soon September will be coming, and then October, and then the weather will be turning cold. And I'll be looking back and realizing that I really didn't enjoy summer the way that I should have. Part of my routine lately is to wake up, make my favorite cup of coffee, and take it outside where I sit on the steps and just look around, look at my garden, enjoy the birds singing, enjoy the soft breeze, enjoy all of the hard work that it took to create this little piece of heaven. So I try to ignore the weeds popping up and the powdery mildew and the Japanese beetles eating my roses, and I just focus on feeling gratitude. Gratitude for this beautiful nature that we've been gifted with, and for the little piece of paradise that I've been able to create in front of my own home. Now that the other elements in the room have been finalized, I've been giving a lot of thought to what I want to do with these pillows. I've been using these. I was using them on my sectional before because I just love their really high quality velvet pillows. But of course, they really don't go with this color sofa. So now that Joann Fabrics is closed, as you know, buying fabric has become a lot more challenging. I've checked Hobby Lobby, I've checked Walmart, and they both carry fabric, but their selection is very limited. And I really couldn't find anything that I liked. So what I decided to do is bring out the pillows that I was also using on my sectional. And these are these paisley pattern pillows. They're approximately the same size as these. I like this fabric because it does complement the color of the sofa really well. It has that same taupey brown color, and it also has the blue and the burgundy that I have in the rug. But the problem is that these are not very high quality pillows, I think. I mean, the front fabric is nice enough, but they're just filled with that cheap polyfill material, whereas these have a really high quality down insert. So what I decided to do is I'm going to deconstruct both of them, and for the front of the pillows I'm going to use this fabric. I'm going to use this fabric for the back of the pillows, and I'm also going to be reusing the zipper because this one does have a zipper, this one does not. So that way I will be making a pillow for each of the corners. I do have 3 of each. I have 3 of the paisley pillows and also 3 of these camel velvet pillows, but I think 3 would be too much for this size sofa, so I'm just going to be making 2 of them. And then I'm thinking of, for the middle here, of doing a lumbar pillow and a coordinating fabric. I finally finished both pillows and I was showing them to my husband because I was very proud of him. It involved more work than I anticipated, taking both pillows apart and then putting everything together. And he looked at the pillows and then he looked at me and he said, "What did you do? They look exactly the same as before." Which made me laugh because technically, yes, they do look like the same pillows because the same fabrics were used, but I just told him he just doesn't understand the subtle nuances of home decorating. Finally, the family room refresh is finished. I have accomplished all of the things on my to-do list for this room. I think the pillows, the new and improved, well, not new, but the improved pillows are looking really good on the sofa. I think they just complement the overall feeling of the room, that very traditional feeling with the paisley, which is a timeless print. And the colors just go really well with the little chair that I thrifted and also with the rug. The blue lumbar pillow was actually left here by my son. He had purchased it for his apartment when he was living in Philadelphia, and he has since moved and he left it behind. So I was going to donate it to Goodwill, but I thought that it would be really a nice complement to the paisley pillows because it has the blue, and it's always nice to add a geometric print when you have other fabrics in the room. So I think it looks really good in the middle. And then of course the little footstools that I shared in the last video that I recovered with the animal print, as well as the larger ottoman that I also used the same animal print on. And then I just fill the room with a lot of fresh flowers. This is the season for that, and I love to surround myself with fresh flowers while I have them in the garden. So I'm very pleased with the overall result of the room refresh. I'm always, of course, tweaking things, and with fall around the corner, I'll probably change out some decor items, some florals, but I'm anticipating that the room will stay like this for some time. The next project that I wanted to check off my list was adding more planters to my deck. I know I'm always saying that I want to scale back and that I want to actually reduce the number of planters just to make my life easier in the summer. But looking around the deck, I just felt that all of the planters were on one half of the deck, while the other half, where we have our dining table and chairs and the barbecue, really didn't have any planters at all. So I felt that the distribution of the planters was uneven. And I thought about just removing some from the other half of the deck and moving them over, but I really like the trio of planters that I have, like three. I think things always look better in three. So I didn't want to mess with that arrangement. So what I decided to do instead is buy two new planters and put one on each side of the umbrella. And I think that will really make the distribution of planters a little bit more even and give that cohesive look to the deck. I really liked the roses that I had planted in one of my other planters, so I went back to Lowe's and I was able to find the same roses. And I also bought some of these
Calibrachoa to underplant, I think this is the look that I'm going for with this rose bush in the middle and then the cascading yellow flowers underneath. Roses tend to get leggy at the bottom, so I think it's nice if you underplant them with something. So that was my plan. I also ordered these two large planters from Amazon, and I think they're just the perfect size. I am hoping that these roses will survive the winter. I'm planning on keeping them outside. They are hardy to my zone, so I'm hoping that they will live in these pots for many, many seasons. So that was the plan. Well, it's the next day. I had to stop planting yesterday because this violent storm came through. Strong winds, everything on the deck is topsy-turvy. As you can see, cushions everywhere, umbrella. Luckily, there was no damage, and I was able to tuck away my new rose bushes behind our seating arrangement, so there is no damage to them, and I can now proceed with my planting plans. To save on soil and to make the pots a little easier to move around, I decided to reuse the styrofoam packaging material that came in the box. I always like to do that, add a layer of the styrofoam to the bottom of the pot. That way you don't have to use as much soil and the pot is not as heavy. I finished planting my rose bushes and I actually changed up the plan a little bit. I was going to put these new planters, one on each side of the umbrella, but I actually decided to add one to this arrangement. I felt that this arrangement really needed a taller pot, and I decided to put this one here. This one I underplanted with some creeping Jenny and with some purple calibrachoa. I think the purple really complements the pink roses. So I decided to put a smaller pot to balance out the other side of the deck, which is the smaller one here. It has some petunias and some other plants in it. I think some angelonia. And the other rose bush went on the side. It has already flowered and given several roses, but now I had to deadhead them, and there are some little blooms coming along. So in a few days, I should have new roses on this bush. My husband had shoulder surgery last week and is now recovering from that. And we had family members calling, asking how the surgery went, asking how he was doing. So we thought that it would be a good idea to host a little get together for them to be able to come over and to see him in person. I had organized the deck, I had placed everything back where it belonged, and the planters were finished, so I thought, why not? Let's just serve some fruit and some little pastries and some tea, and we'll have people over and just spend a few hours catching up. The guests have all gone home. I've cleaned up all of the dishes and taken all of the food in. And now my husband and I are just enjoying the deck, just the two of us at night. It's a beautiful place. I lit some candles. I also have this outdoor light, which gives a really nice glow. I'm sure you can hear the crickets in the back. It's just a magical place during the day and also at night. The guests brought some beautiful flowers. My husband really enjoyed seeing everyone and catching up with everyone. I think it was a really nice distraction from the whole recovery process. So it was much appreciated that these people came and spent a few hours with us. Thank you so much for stopping by today. If you enjoyed this video, you might enjoy this one too. Hope to see you soon.